This is The Good Government Show.
Really, I'm an old school radio guy. And I don't know a farmer out there that would rather draw an insurance check than raise a crop. It's about raising a crop. But still, if Mother Nature is not kind and it doesn't work, you can sleep at night because you know I'm going to get the opportunity to try this again. Being a county commissioner means that you're responsible for everything and in charge of very little. And sometimes that's the way it works out. It's our job to tell the story of county government, and it's a good story, and we need to tell it. Well, if you walk in the coffee shop and they don't throw things at you, that's a pretty good start. There are so many smart people out there that we need to be leading this country, and I don't know that we've found them yet.
Welcome to The Good Government Show. I'm your host, Dave Martin. On this episode, we're heading to North Texas, to Wichita County, and I'm going to talk with Barry Mahler. He's a Wichita County Commissioner. For 11 years, Barry's been a county commissioner there, and he's a farmer. He grows wheat and cotton and raises cattle. This is a guy who knows what it's like to sit on a tractor in the sun tending to your crops. Speaking of tractors, Barry has a small collection of older tractors, but he assures me that he keeps them all well maintained. Any of them can get out and still do the job. But he says the newer models are a lot more comfortable. I learned a lot about tractors. At first, I wouldn't have thought, being here in Brooklyn, that farms need modern technology. But they do, and I'll let Barry explain why. I got a lucky surprise when I met Commissioner Mahler. He's an old radio guy. For some 30 years, he hosted a local farm report, both on radio and TV. It's always good to talk to a radio guy. An interesting conversation with a local leader in rural Texas. We talk about farm prices, and I'll let him explain the Farm Bill. Getting back to technology, explain that rural Texas and rural America is undergoing a similar movement, just like back when rural counties were late in getting electricity. Well, now it's broadband service. Coming up, my conversation with Barry Mahler of Wichita County, Texas. And pay attention when we talk about the red draw. That's next, after this. The Good Government Show is sponsored by Ourco. That means our community. Ourco has found a way to make government more effective. Ourco provides the OUR platform, and this is an app that blends in-person and digital interactions to connect people with their government, their county, their town, their state. The Ourco app transforms meaningful conversations into reliable data. They can turn results into projects and programs the community has essentially already approved. It's sort of like a flash poll by phone, but without the call and in real time and wherever community members are. Maybe they're at their house or their office or where they're out just talking about local issues. Maybe the choice is between putting in more local buses or expanding the bike lanes. Ourco can get you an answer immediately. With OUR, you can engage your citizens or any group, learn what they want, and build programs and policies that advance your county, your job creators, your constituents. So visit ourco.com, that's OURCO.com, and learn how they do it. And while you're there, book a demonstration. Welcome to The Good Government Show. I'm your host, Dave Martin. I'm here with Barry Mahler. Barry, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do.
Well, thank you. I'm from Wichita County, Texas. Actually live in a town called Iowa Park. We're in the northern part of Texas, kind of between Oklahoma City and Dallas-Fort Worth, right along the Red River. And so we're right in the edge of the rolling plains of Texas, and I've lived there all my life. I've farmed and ranched all my life. I've been heavily involved in soil and water conservation in Texas and all of the ag movements that have come along, but got the opportunity to run for county commissioner a little over 10 years ago, and I've always loved politics, and it all came together, and I've just enjoyed serving the people of Wichita County as the Precinct 3 commissioner in Wichita County.
But there's more to it than that. You do farm reports, is that correct?
Yes, I was a farm broadcaster for a number of years on radio and TV, and really I'm an old school radio guy, and I love radio, but that one of the reasons that I
you do have a bit of a radio voice.
Well, okay, and thank you for that.
Well, thanks for being here with your radio voice.
I kind of got away from that because that industry changing tremendously, the news media deal as a whole. And at one time, there were probably 30, 40 full-time farm broadcasters in Texas, and now there's only a few. And so I did radio, and when the radio station sold and moved, I moved to the local CBS affiliate, the TV station, did a 30-minute TV show every morning. Enjoyed it a lot. Got to work with a lot of people, got to go a lot of places, meet a lot of people. I'm still involved, though. I do some commercial voiceover work, and I'm also a reporter for Texas Farm Bureau Roundup, and I think we're on like 14 radio stations in Texas, so I do a report from the rolling plains every week. So that keeps me involved in the industry, and I really enjoy that.
What's going on with the industry? What's going on there?
Well, agriculture's in a really interesting point right now. Like every other industry in the world, inflation has affected us very negatively. Our input costs have gone up exponentially, but luckily our commodity prices have gone with it, and that's a good thing. So that kind of balances out. But what worries me is we're going to get those commodity prices tend to come down a lot quicker than what our input costs do, and I'm afraid we're going to land at a level that's not very good. So that's why the Farm Bill is very important to us, and one of the sessions that I've been here at the NACo conference is the Farm Bill and what we can do to influence that and make sure that it is a good support structure for agriculture. So the ag industry, sometimes it gets hot and dry and the crops don't grow. Sometimes they grow very well, but my grandfather did it, my dad did it, so I'm a third generation, and I've got two sons that are interested in it. Even though they've got outstanding careers, they still love the land and they want to come back to the home place and build homes later on. So, agriculture is one of those things you can get into it, but if you grow into it, it's a lot better.
What do you grow?
We raise wheat, we run cattle, we raise cotton. We've got a cotton crop planted right now. It's been extremely hot in Texas, and we can stand the heat if we have water. We're all dry land. We're not irrigated, so rain is important. We've been very fortunate to have good rain so far into early July, so we're watching it, and I guess we're cautiously optimistic. But wheat, cotton, and cattle are pretty well it. We do a few other things too, but that's pretty much what grows well on the rolling plains of Texas.
Well, I was going to ask, what does it take to grow cotton?
Well, cotton is an interesting plant. It loves heat. But it needs water when it's having the heat. Cotton is interesting in as much as I think you can give up on it 2 or 3 times in the season and still do well if it finishes well into the fall. And it's such a great product, and it is so much in demand around the world. Just about everything we see, from the clothes we wear to the carpet on the floor, it all has a cotton component to it.
Where does your cotton wind up?
My cotton goes to the gin. They put it into bales. Some of it goes to export, but a lot of it goes to the material companies that make material out of it and process it for different things. And then we harvest. We of course remove the seed from it. The seed's a great oil seed crop, so we actually get the benefit of that also.
The shirt you're wearing? Any chance it's your cotton?
Absolutely. Well, it could be. Probably not, but it could be. I like to think it is. Okay. But it's a great product. It's comfortable. It's durable, and it helps when you can really be proud of the end product of what you grow. And if you're raising cotton, you can be proud of it. And that's true for nearly all the ag commodities in the United States.
What is it about the Farm Bill that you're most concerned about?
I think the big thing for us right now, and we discussed it in committee meetings this morning, is we have got to protect federal crop insurance. Federal crop insurance is so vitally important because it not only helps you recover from a disaster, but it's a needed component in securing the funding you need to operate. These banks want that assurance of federal crop insurance to loan you the money to do that. So we think that's one of the important things to keep in mind.
And how does that help individual farmers?
Well, it allows them to operate, basically. Without it, the risk is just too much. Every time the input costs and the commodity prices go up, that's a great thing. You raise a crop, you make good money. But if you lose a crop, the risk is exponential. It goes up 2 or 3 times as to what the input potential is, and you can't survive it anymore because of what it costs.
So ultimately, that affects consumers with a higher price, yeah?
It absolutely does, and it keeps producers in business. It keeps the industry competitive, and it's really good for everybody. And I don't know a farmer out there that would rather draw an insurance check than raise a crop. It's about raising a crop, but still, if Mother Nature is not not kind and it doesn't work, you can sleep at night because you know I'm going to get the opportunity to try this again.
I understand that you recently expressed some concerns about the technology in your county. What are you doing to help the citizens of your county, and how did you get involved in the technology problem?
Well, we're in a real interesting spot in as much as I
think rant was the word you used. You ranted.
Yeah, we have Wichita Falls, which is the county seat, which is a town with a population of 100, and we have pretty good technology available there, but we've got some rural areas out there, these smaller towns. It costs a lot per user to install broadband and the things that we need, and so many things are connected to that now, and I think you find that all over rural West Texas. It's like I equate it to the electrification of rural America. When we started getting electricity and making sure everybody was going to have it, the rural people got left out, and it was the rural electrification program that came along and picked them up because they didn't have a dense enough population using it per mile of line. And that's what we're running into in this end too. But we're getting some help. We've got some companies coming in. There are a lot of federal dollars that are coming that way. So I think we're going to see the internet infrastructure move into rural, not just rural Texas, but rural America. And that's going to be good because I think it will keep some people in the less densely populated areas, and I think it'll also have some people that will come that way that could literally do their job from out in the country.
So how does a rural Texas farmer become the technology guru of your county?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the guru, and if you ask my kids, they will verify that. Both of my sons will tell you, "Oh, Dad, you messed it up again." But no, I'm learning, and I'm interested in it, and I see the benefits of it. The farm equipment we run now needs the internet because the guidance systems and all the monitoring systems that we have on it relies on the internet. So when you see a tractor or combine running out in the country, it's not out there seat of the pants. It's hooked to the internet some way in order to make it function. That's the world we live in. So an old guy like me, I've had to adopt. I'm coming to the table kind of slow, but I'm getting there, and I'm glad I am because we're a lot more productive with it.
And you have children and grandchildren who can fix it for you.
We absolutely do. Quick story. I was running the tractor and planter a while back, and I had a son that was sitting in a meeting in San Antonio, which is many miles away from where we are. And he called me about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he says, "Dad," said, "when you get to the end of the row," he said, "get out and look at that number 12 unit." He said, "It doesn't look right on the monitor." He's sitting in a meeting in San Antonio watching my planter monitor in the field in North Texas. And sure enough, I got out, had a little dust on the sensor, and I thought, my dad, I think he would have thought this was a tool of the devil. I'm not 100% sure, but isn't that amazing? He's sitting in a meeting and he's monitoring my planter. Actually, I think he was just checking to make sure I wasn't taking a nap. That's what the deal is. But no, that's amazing technology. It helps. It makes us more efficient, and it's going to help us moving forward. I'm glad we've got it. Once again, I'm a little slow to come to it. I'm having to learn it as I go. But hey, you got to embrace it because it's here. Just the report we're doing today is there because of technology. So we as a commissioner's court, as the county, we've got to make sure that our county is included in those improvements because that's how we're going to move forward.
What is your fascination with old tractors?
Oh, I love old tractors. We've got a pretty good...
Why do you love old tractors?
I don't know. And I'm an old car guy. I grew up in the 60s, and I've got a pretty good old restored car collection. And both of my sons participated in FFA tractor restoration competition. In fact, my youngest son won the national championship about 6 years ago as a senior. So we have got a good selection of some outstanding restored tractors. I know we've got some just like I grew up on, some like my dad grew up on. I just have a fascination with it. It was a neat era, and you could really see the progression of the mechanics of agriculture, much like now we're seeing the progression of the technology. And that just fascinates me, and it's really fun to have those in the barn, get them out and drive them every once in a while.
Do you have them, and do you take them out?
We've got them, you bet.
Are they still working tractors?
You bet they are. They're brand new. I mean, every bolt has been taken out of those tractors and completely restored. That tractor that my son won the national championship with was brand new when he got through with it. It was a 4320 Deere, which was that was a 72 model, so that wasn't real.
What's the oldest one you have?
Oh, let's see. We've got a 47 model John Deere B that my uncle owned, and I never thought I'd get it away from my cousin, but I did, and we restored it. So that's a family heirloom. That one's never going anywhere. We've got a couple of old farmalls that were built in the late 40s, early 50s. Love those. Love the way they run.
Do they work as well as the modern ones?
Well, the air conditioner doesn't work as good, I'll tell you that. That sure makes a difference. But the big difference in them is they're still doing the same thing. It's that they were doing it with kind of brute horsepower and less of the finesse that we have now with the technology we have.
Are they still effective? Could they still do the job?
Well, sure they can. We still use them. Some. We've got some older tractors on our farm that we still use, and they're still there, but they're not as comfortable to drive as the new ones are. I mean, you get in one of these new ones, it's like sitting in your living room, and I like that. I like it.
So it's called The Good Government Show. Tell me a good government projects that you're working on in Wichita County.
We're just trying to bring the best value we can to our taxpayers. As a county commissioner, you're in an interesting position in Texas, and I always describe it of being a county commissioner means that you're responsible for everything and in charge of very little, and sometimes that's the way it works out. We're looking at bringing value. How can we take our tax dollars, and we are a property tax state, of course, and that's how we operate the county, and we want to try to bring the best law enforcement, certainly the best services for our veterans and all those other people that are involved and need some help from time to time. We're trying to maintain the best, safest roads we can. We're trying to do that with the best value that we can bring the taxpayer, because we're all property taxpayers too, and we want the best value you can bring. And I think that's our overall goal, is just to do a good job for the folks that put you there.
So do more people know you from your work doing the farm reports and television, or as county commissioner?
Well, maybe both. It's been a good connection. It never hurts for people to know you when you're running for election, but I think both. I've just been fortunate to live in that community a long time. I've known a lot of people, and I've got and there's just a lot of quality people around there that I'm proud to call friends. So I don't know if you're ever really popular or ever really well known, but it is nice when somebody comes up to you in the grocery store and said, "Hey, I see you on TV." I got to admit, that's fun. I enjoy that.
Yes, it is. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're going to get to the heart of your philosophy on government. After you get done with this episode, hear more good government stories with our friends at How to Really Run a City. Former mayors Kasim Reed of Atlanta and Michael Nutter of Philadelphia, and their co-host, journalist and author Larry Platt, talk with guests and other mayors about how to really get stuff done in cities around the nation. Check them out where you're listening now, or through their nonprofit news site, thephiladelphiacitizen.org/podcasts. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm one of those that most of the time, the less government you've got, the better off you are. And we've got to be very careful with overreach. We want to.
Well, we're gonna get to that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, what is your definition? You're a county commissioner. You've been there for 10 years. What's your definition of good government?
For me, as a county commissioner, it's to bring service to the community that they can't supply for themselves on an individual basis, and do that in the best form that we can, the less intrusive of their lives, and hopefully for the best value.
How do you track your success and knowing that you're being successful?
Well, if you walk in the coffee shop and they don't throw things at you, that's a pretty good start. But no, I think feedback from the people, and I like to get out and talk to the people. I'd rather do that than anything. I mean, I don't.
But internally, how do you know if you're being successful?
If I'm proud of what I do at the end of the day. Okay. If I think I did a good job, I did what I could do. So, that's kind of the way you do it. But you also, you love to hear that, hey, you're doing a good job, hang in there, do that. And you love a pat on the back every once in a while. Sometimes those don't come very often when you're an elected official. And I think less now than they did a long time ago. But still,
we're trying to change that on the show here.
Yeah, in my heart, if I know I'm doing a good job for the people that put me in that chair, that's their seat, not mine, then I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty comfortable.
And how do the people know if they're getting good government? And how should they hold you accountable? How do they know that you're being effective?
Well, I think I would love for the people to be more involved. I always encourage people to come and talk to us. Come to Commissioner's Court. We'll put you on the agenda where we can have a discussion. If you've got a question or problem, come. In fact, I got a text from a lady in the county today that's not even in my precinct, but I know her, and she had some questions about some road issues. I said, you let me know when you can come. We'll get you on the agenda. We'll discuss it. We'll come up with something. I think that's the best way. Communication is always, I think all too often, too many people sit back and they've got things on their mind and they don't share them. And I think being up front with your people, being in contact with them, and then when you move on to the state and federal government, I tell you, when my congressman, my senator comes to town, I'm there. I'm going to go visit with him because that's how you stay connected. Same way with my state representative, and we want the same thing on the county level. Come and talk to us, come see us, and we'll work it out.
Well, you sort of answer that, and the next question is, if people feel like they're not getting the government that they want, what do you want them to do?
Call me or come see me. Don't air it out on Facebook. Come and discuss it with me, where we can actually get something done. And they do, and I think they're getting better at it. I think, and more so, it's too easy right now to get on social media and sit back and say and complain about somebody. But we do have a good group of people that will come and share with us. When it comes tax rate time, we want them to come and discuss it. We want to hear what they've got to say because, and we have made changes quite regularly, as a matter of fact, when somebody has a concern. So communication. Come and talk to us. Come see us. And I like to go out and look at things. When somebody says, well, we got a problem out here, and I say, I can do you a better job if I come look at it, and then we'll talk about it. So that's kind of my approach.
And do you come on the tractor or do you take a car?
Well, we take the car most of the time, but I have gone on the tractor, so we can do.
Do people see you riding around town in a tractor?
Oh, every once in a while. We get them out for the parades and stuff, but I'm one of the hands-on guys. I like to go run the equipment. I mean, I like to get out on the road job and run. I can run a bulldozer. I can run a motor grader. I can run all that equipment. I've done it all my life, and so I still enjoy doing that. I think that helps me connect a little, getting out with the crew, and I see what they're going through, what their challenges are. I think that helps us be better commissioners.
You've been a commissioner, you said, for 10 years, right?
Yeah, a little over 10 years, man. Boy, time flies.
What would you, as a government insider, as an elected official for the last 10 years, government is slow. Government is, you said you worry about government overreach. There's a lot of moving parts to government. What would you like people to know that they probably don't know about government?
Well, that it's real easy to say, oh, everybody's a crook, everybody's on the take, and we see that on social media from time to time and all that. But the more involved you are, I think it goes back to the communication deal. The more you know your representative, whoever that may be, a county commissioner, a senator, a congressman, whatever, if you get to know them personally, I think you'll know what kind of person they are and the fact that they have your best interest at heart. I live on roads that I maintain. I pay property taxes just like everybody else does, and I look around and want to make sure that my dollars are being well spent. And so I think that just being involved and paying attention makes a big difference for all of us.
What inspired you to get involved in politics, and who's your political hero?
Well, I love politics, and I've always been a political junkie. I don't care anything about movie stars. I don't care much about athletes. But I tell you what, you let our state senator come to town, or you let our senator come, I'm going to be there. I've just always been interested in it from probably in high school. Had a good government teacher in high school, I think, that got us involved and got us used to it. And I've just always enjoyed the give and take and watching the process work. And so I think that's where my interest comes.
So who are your political heroes?
Oh, it would probably be somebody like maybe Ronald Reagan, somebody like that came from a different background and yet stepped up and did a great job. I mean, there are a bunch of them. We've got a bunch of local people that I thought the world of. I guarantee you some of them are the guys I served with on the Commissioner's Court. I've been there. I'm the oldest member on the Commissioner's Court, so I've been there longer than anybody, and I've seen every other precinct replaced in my term. And I've said I love the guys that were there, and I love the guys that are there now. We communicate well. We deal with one another well. So I think my cohorts, the guys I work with every day, are my heroes also.
Do you mentor new commissioners and new folks that come into government?
No, they mentor me. No, we do, and we help one another. We feel like that there are four of us on our Commissioner's Court. We all have our strengths and our areas of expertise, and we call on one another another, to help one another out. And we do it on a regular basis. We do it just about every day. What do you think about this? Or what would you do on this deal? And we have a good working relationship. So, there's mentoring that goes on, but it goes both ways.
So we are sitting here at the NACo conference in Austin, Texas. I had some Texas barbecue last night. I'm coming up to Wichita. What do we have and where are we going? What are we eating? And who's making it?
Well, first thing we're going to do is, do you know what a red draw is?
I do not.
Well, it's tomato juice and beer. and we're going to go to P2 in Wichita Falls, and we're going to have the best red draw in the world. And then we've got some good barbecue right up the street, and some really good Mexican food, and some chicken fried steak. You got to have a chicken fried steak if you come to our part of the country. So we'll find some places to go, and we'll have a good time.
It sounds like it. Do you cook yourself?
Oh, I love to cook. I'm a big barbecue guy. My wife says I have way too many cookers, and I said it's kind of like old cars and tractors. You just need one more. And I love to cook barbecue. In the wintertime, one of my favorite things to do is when my wife comes home from work, have dinner ready, and she enjoys that too. And I love to cook with my Instapot and come up with new recipes. But I love barbecuing. I've got different grills and different things for different, and that really is relaxing to me to cook, and it's a thrill to see somebody enjoy it. That's what really matters.
So you've had quite a varied career. You started as a farmer, you got into television, you still do voiceover ads, and you've been a county commissioner for 10 years. Was this something you always aspired to? You said you were political from way back. Were you class president? Is this something you always had in your mind?
Yeah, once again, I guess I could always see me running for office because I just loved the process. I didn't know that there would ever really be an opportunity because I had a pretty good sized farming operation going, and we're working on that, and then it was doing my TV and radio things. I didn't know that would work out, but it just fell into place. The timing came along. As I said, the radio and TV industry changed a bunch from what it was, and I had this opportunity to run for office, and that was something I always aspired to, and love a good campaign, love a good debate, and it just fell together. And
did you want to be president as a kid?
No, I don't think I really wanted to be president. There are so many smart people out there that we need to be leading this country, and I don't know that we've found them yet. But that's
are you saying you're not it?
No, that's above where I am, and especially at this point right now, I just love what I do. I love the people I work with. I love the people I work for, and I enjoy going every day and getting into the discussions and all that we have at the courthouse. I love watching county government work. It works. It works.
Tell me something that works in your county that you've had a hand in.
Upgrading. This goes almost back to the technology deal. Upgrading some of the things we were doing in our road and bridge department. Upgrading with better technology and better equipment. We've begun to find some real efficiencies there. Just having an open door policy where we welcome anybody in the courthouse to come in and discuss anything they want to at any time, I think has been good. And the big thing is it probably wasn't anything I had to do with. We've just had some really good people step up to serve, and I've enjoyed being around all of them.
Commissioner Mahler of Wichita Falls, Texas, thank you for stopping by. Great conversation, and nice to talk to a fellow broadcaster, I guess.
Fellow broadcaster, you bet. Nice to see you. Appreciate what you do. It's our job to tell the story of county government, and it's a good story, and we need to tell it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to tell you what our friends at the LHD Academy of Science are doing. The LHD Academy is the National Association for Local Health Department Data Collectors. Through the Academy of Science, county health directors are coming together to measure their county health issues the same way. Here's the problem. There are over 3,000 counties in the U.S., and they all count differently. We live in a data-driven world. We need all the public health data to be counted the same. Let's say you want to see if your community is overweight, or vaping, or in other ways less healthy than your neighboring counties. To determine this, you'll need to measure these problems the same. You also have to ask the same questions. Different results, but same data points. LHD Academy is working with the National Center for Disease Control, creating a standard to count and collect data the same way. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. They create the process and make sure everyone is looking at the information the same way. This means a county in Connecticut can compare their data with a county in California. It's apples to apples. Now, with the LHD Academy, counties and other governments are pooling resources and sharing data and creating a huge database library. That means lower costs, more accurate results, and better information for everyone. Sound like good government, right? If this sounds like something you'd want to get for your county or your city, check them out at lhdacademyofscience.org. That's lhdacademyofscience.org. What is it that county government does? That's the question county commissioners get asked the most, and the simple answer is everything. On the Good Government Show, we're so lucky to have talked with so many county commissioners and other county officials that have shown us how effective county government is. County government dates back to, get this, 1634, making it one of the oldest forms of government in the United States. Think about it. Roads, highways, hospitals, schools, recycling, law enforcement, water, sewers, and most of the county, those services are maintained by the county. That's county government. The National Association of Counties represents all 3,069 counties across the USA. NACo helps county government work better together through things like sharing best practices. When county government works well, that's just good government. Just being involved and paying attention makes a big difference for all of us. Those are Commissioner Barry Mahler's words, and good words for all of us to remember. Getting involved gets you better government. I do like his take on elected office. Responsible for everything, in charge of very little. I guess that means he has to do the work and make sure those in charge get things done smoothly. Two other things stood out to me. I guess Barry's doing okay because, people don't throw things at him when he walks into the diner. That's got to be good for everybody. And I like when he said, if you have a problem, don't air it out on Facebook. Come talk to me. It was a good talk with Barry Mahler. Always good to hear from rural America. But about that red draw beer and tomato juice, I know the expression, don't knock it till you tried it, but not sure about this red draw thing. Chicken fried steak, that sounds better. And I like a man who needs one more cooker. Well, that's our show. Please like us and share us with your friends and review us right here where you're listening. And check out our website, goodgovernmentshow.com, for extras. Make sure you tell everybody about what we're doing here on the Good Government Show. And join us again for another episode right here where you're listening now. I'm Dave Martin, and this is the Good Government Show. The Good Government Show is a Valley Park production. Jim Ludlow, Dave Martin, that's me, and David Snyder are the executive producers. Our show is edited and produced by Jason Stershic. Please subscribe, then share us, and like us and review us. That's the best way to make sure we're able to keep telling these stories of our government working for all of us. Then listen to the next episode of The Good Government Show.